right, so we're heading down to the island. Gonna check out the fields. TJ was down there. Today's Sunday. TJ was down there Friday night. Took a look at the fields. We had gotten quite a bit of rain either Thursday or Friday morning. I can't remember, but TJ went down there and looked at it, and there was standing water everywhere. Couldn't get the tractor in there to finish up harrowing. So fortunately, that was our plan this weekend, was to try to finish harrowing up, and then Memorial Day weekend, we're going to try seeding everything in. Obviously, that's not going to be the case. But I need my tractor for tomorrow. I'm going to be brush hogging a field for a friend. So I got to get my tractor out of that field. Last time I ran out of fuel because my fuel gauge doesn't work. Burned through 20 gallons of fuel pretty quick. It was in like a day and a half just pulling the harrows, so she's thirsty, I guess. But so I gotta go bleed the fuel system in it, get her running, and then Monday I'll come back down and start brush hogging the field for my buddy. But I figure we do some scouting at the field, check the fields all out, see if they're still wet, which probably are. Good news is it's gonna be sunny till Friday, I think, so hopefully this week can come down and we can finish harrowing up so that we can seed on Memorial Day weekend. And then with any luck, once that field's done, probably go take a look at that cornfield again. It's probably all underwater, but I'm gonna have to start doing, I don't know if we gotta soil test it, but I don't know what we're gonna do for fertilizer. We're kind of going into this thing low buck for this cornfield. It's usually a recipe for disaster, but we'll see how it plays out. So that's the plan. It's a little wet back here. We got like 4 inches of rain. I'm just trying to get the tractor out of the field. Might be staying here though. See if we can get her out. Couple feet, move forward a couple feet. Doesn't help that we're dragging the disc. We're almost out though. All right, we got her out. Back it around here. Sitting back there. I would have left it in the field, but I need the tractor tomorrow, and I figured I'm down here, so I'll get it out now. All right, we got her out. Definitely muddy. If I didn't need the tractor tomorrow, I would have left it there because I kind of made a mess getting out of the field. But the ruts that I made with the tractor, I kind of covered up with the disc as I was pulling it through. So, unfortunately, it was so muddy that with the wheels down, it still sank to the gang, so it did cover up whatever tracks I made. But this is what we're plowing with here. It's a John Deere 3-bottom plow. It's my buddy's 966. He's got it all tarped off right now. I'm not going to bother pulling the tarp off, but this thing's an animal. We bought this out of he bought it at McFadden's auction in New York a couple of years back. I had a 358 International motor in it from I want to say it was a 786, and then they bought I believe it's a 466. They bought this out of Iowa. It came out of a 1466 at a salvage yard. So this thing, it's an animal. But this is the smaller field right here of the 5 that we're doing. This is it's like just under an acre. We haven't touched it yet because this is where we've been parking everything. And it's also the rockiest. Like, there's a huge piece of shale sticking out over there. So we were gonna leave this for the end in case we end up, if we break the plow or something on it. It's the last field, so we don't really care that much. But this was all overgrown. I had to brush hog this whole field down before we could even get into here. So this will be the last field we do. We'll go check out the other fields next. So this is the next field here. This is the last one that I harrowed. Tractor was just stuck down there. As you can see, it's pretty damn wet. There's plenty of standing water right along this edge here. It might be drier further back. I haven't walked out there, but we were supposed to be doing tillage work, finished tillage work yesterday and today, but we got hit with quite a bit of rain, obviously. So this is all standing water. I don't even know if we'll be able to get into it tomorrow. TJ was down here yesterday looking at it, and from the pictures he sent me, it doesn't look like the water had gone down any at all. So we might be waiting on this one for a while. But this field here is it's like 3 1/4 acres. It plowed up real nice, disced nice. There's no big rocks or anything like that. Disc cut right through it like butter. Like I mentioned a couple times, these fields were all potato ground. At one point, a lot of the big rocks got taken out. As you can see, we left, well, this is all a walking trail right here. This is all town property. It was farmed for a number of years, and then when the town kind of put the stop to us growing corn in here, they seeded it all in with wildflower. I don't think it really took. I mean, it was enough to be a pain in the ass, but that's why we're plowing all this under, like I said before. This field here was the first one I went into. This is actually the first one we plowed and harrowed. This one here is 5 1/4 acres. Super nice field. It was real wet down that far corner. It's kind of always been like that, because when we were growing corn in here, we would leave that corner alone. You would just sink the tractor right down to the axles, really. But up here, this dried out quite a bit. Certainly a lot drier than the other field I was just in. A couple big rocks, that one there and that one out there. That rock there actually busted the tip off of the first moldboard on the plow, so got to take care of that. But this field here also, other than that, it disced up real nice. I'll go check the other fields out. All right, so this is the second field in from the road. This one here is 4 1/4 acres. This one here, I believe TJ finished plowing this the other night before we got all that rain. I haven't touched it with the harrows yet, but he said this one here was actually pretty wet coming through. He almost buried the tractor a couple times in this field in 4-wheel drive. So this one here, I definitely want to make sure it's dried out before I bring my 856 in here and risk sinking that. Like I said, usually these fields all dry out pretty well, aside from, a couple certain spots, but just with all that rain we got, I mean, we got, I bet you, damn close to 4 inches of rain. And actually, that's quite the furrow right there that he left. He said there was one spot that was all like just really soddy, and it left a big furrow. So it's this right here. I mean, you can see it sticking up all the way. But so as soon as this dries down, this will be the next field that I hit. But like I said, from the looks of it, when we got water running down here, it'll probably be a couple days before I can get into it, unfortunately. Got Memorial Day weekend coming up, so hopefully that's a decent weekend, and we can just finish this off and then get going on corn. I just ordered up my corn seed, so that's on its way. Should hopefully be here at the end of the week. Planter's pretty close to being done, so I'll run that down here once that's all set. then we'll probably end up plowing that cornfield as well, and you know, disc all that under. We're actually going with hybrid 85 seed, just because it's so much cheaper than what I was looking at. I got quoted out like $380 a bag for grain corn, and I was like, man, for the couple acres I'm doing myself, I don't really want to spend $800 on seed. So that hybrid 85 stuff's a hell of a lot cheaper. I might do a video on that, you know, all the different varieties and stuff. But from what I've read, it looks like it's pretty solid corn seed. So we'll see how it plans out. All right, we're back here at the truck, and this is the last field closest to the road. This is the biggest field. It's almost 6 acres. Obviously, we haven't touched any of this yet. As you can see, it's all super weedy, and this is what was here before. This is why, you know, a couple people have asked. You know, they saw a couple of, you know, in the videos they've asked why we couldn't bale what was there. And it's all weeds. No one's going to want to buy this stuff. So this will be the last field we plow under. They don't really want us driving on the trails in there, so that's why we've kind of left this field open so we can cut through over there without driving through the pathway entrance over there. But if I recall, I mean, this field here is super dry. Historically, that house over there, they built that house, I believe it was like the last year, if not the year before, that we grew corn in here. And when they built that house up, they raised the grade, and so all the water that used to pool up, there was like a pond over there. I shouldn't say a pond, but it was like a swamp over there. When they built that grade up, all that water ended up coming into the corner of the field over there. So I haven't gone over there. I don't know how wet it is, but historically this has been a super dry field. I'm not sure if when they raised the grade up, if they did something with the water. I know at one point the town was talking about putting a retention pond in over on that corner, but they didn't. So but there's a can't touch over there. They got it all marked out. There's a monster rock right there. I've busted a couple of discs off the gang on the old harrow I used to run when we were planting corn in here. So, but these are all the hay fields we do, and I guess we'll go check out the let's go check out my cornfield too if we're down here and see how wet that is. That's, man, that field that field makes these look like the friggin' desert. That cornfield's super wet. Like I said before, I think we're going to be planting half of it, but we'll go take a look at it. So I figure I'd get a shot of this too. Where all this construction is here, this was all, we used to grow corn in here as well. This was like, God, 100 acres, I think, something close to it. All down here. And then on the other side of that brush line as well, that was all corn. And I'm not sure how they're allowed to build on it, because I'm fairly certain that this land, the development rights were all sold to the land trust, which is basically the town has gotten so developed over the years. I mean, this is on an island. This whole island used to be all farmland back, you know, in the 80s. And the town, to kind of put a stop on the development of the area, you could sell the development rights, and then it wouldn't be built on. All that over there, that was all protected land. And now the golf course is a big golf course over there, big country club. They bought the land somehow, and for a while there they left it fallow. It was kind of all just left it fallow. And now they're putting in a monster clubhouse for the country club and a bunch of driving ranges and all this stuff. And it's just like, man, we got enough golf courses and hotels and everything else on this island. I mean, it's not like it used to be when I was growing up, and it kills me to see it. But just some shady shit, I think, because they say, well, it's a golf course, so it's, you know, open space, you know, but that's not what the point of it is. It's supposed to be agricultural, you know? And I don't know, that's how it goes, I guess, unfortunately, but is what it is. All right, so this is our cornfield, or what's going to be the cornfield. We'll get out and take a walk, but this is all super wet ground. Like I said in a couple of videos back, I took the brush hog out because this is a little more grown up than it was when I was down here a couple of weeks ago. But I wanted to mark out where the dry spots were, so we knew where we were going to be planting the corn at. And about halfway down, I started making a couple passes, and that's about where it's dry enough to plant. So we'll get out and take a look at it. So right off the bat, you can see the road's quite a bit higher than the field is. So all the water from the road gets pitched off and settles right here. And that's why this front half of the field right here, this first part, is always super wet, especially that far corner down there. I almost sank the tractor trying to get into it. So we're walking through. That pass I made with the brush hog, that first pass, is right up here. There's still standing water around here, which I would imagine there would be with the amount of rain. But even if you don't get rain for like a week or two, I mean, this field is still super wet. Really, if you were to do it right, you would put some drainage tile in and you'd have something nice here, but it's not my field, so I'm not gonna go through the hassle of that for 5 acres. So right here, this is the first pass I did. You can see standing water sitting right there. Halfway down, it got super wet, and I almost sank the tractor right there, got it stuck. So from here down, at the time, was just way too wet to plant corn. That's why I left all that there. Even up to here, this here is all real wet. And then right here is where I started making multiple passes. So really from here up to that brush line, and then from that tree to that brush line, this is about where we're gonna be planting corn. I think when you do the math out, it's like, call it 2.5 acres, something like that. The whole field, the field in its entirety, I believe, is just shy of 5 acres. And that's not to say that when the time comes and we start plowing all this under, which I think is what we're gonna do, we'll probably just plow everything, at least what we're gonna plant. There might be some drier spots further down that way that drain out a little bit, and then maybe we'll plant that. But at this moment in time, from there up, this is what we're gonna be planting. This was all corn before, so the landowner's house is up over there somewhere. He used to milk cows back in the day, and then he sold off where this house is right here and the next one up. This was all a big field as well, and they built that up. I don't think they touched this field just because of how wet it was. But he's had trouble finding people to farm this field. He's quite a bit older, so he can't do it anymore. Not that he has anything to, he's not farming anymore. He sold all his equipment off. But the field's so wet, no one wants it. So he's basically gave it to us and do what you want with it. As long as I don't have to brush hog it, I don't care what you do. So what we're doing for fertilizer and all that, still up in the air. I know that when we bought fertilizer for the hay fields, we bought quite a bit extra, so we might put that down on here. Same thing with the lime, we got extra lime as well. I haven't done, hay's kind of been the priority for us, getting those hay fields established, so this field's been at the bottom of the priority list, really. So I haven't done any soil tests. I don't know what the ground's like. I should get on that because we're behind anyway, but getting down to the wire a little bit here, so should do some soil tests and see what we got to put down on it instead of just winging it. But That's how we roll. But for, I think all said and done, we're into the corn seed itself for $300. A couple gallons of fuel, getting the field ready to go. So we won't be into this field for very much at all. So even if we get like a crappy stand of corn, you're not really losing anything. You're gonna make money off it regardless. So, but I'd like to see it do good. So if we can put some good fertilizer down on it and get a good stand of corn off it, that'd be awesome. But like I said, the hay's kind of the priority right now. So that said, I think that's going to end the video here, our field scouting. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.